which brings us back to UC Berkeley. I teach there, and I recognize that in order to bridge the divide, we need to have some levels of conversations, some way of having people like this meet people like this. And I brought a couple of folks who I met through the Starfish program and brought them to Berkeley to lecture. And this is a guy named Chip who was in front of a room of 500 people. And rather than talking about politics, and these are all Berkeley students, he talked about experiences from overseas. And I was sitting next to a woman in a hippie dress, and I saw her actually crying because she never recognized what you all have actually gone through. How can we share these human stories? Afterwards, the class actually sat down with a couple of those folks on the grass, just talking about their experiences. And the Berkeley program was so powerful that we started implementing it. With National Defense University, we now bring 30 people from the Army for 2 weeks on a broadening program where they get to really be a part of this community. And the idea here is not just to have inclusion, it's to have radical inclusion. The title of our book is Radical Inclusion: What the Post-9/11 World Should Have Taught Us About Leadership. And I'm writing it with Marty Dempsey. The idea being that inclusion is no longer nice to have, it's a strategic imperative. And with these Army groups, we actually got them embedded in the community. So there are all these arts fairs happening in San Francisco all the time. We said, why don't we volunteer for you? Why don't we help you build some of this art? And here you have a bunch of enlisted and officers erecting an art piece, and the artist who's sitting there in the lift is like, who are you? And they're like, we're Army. And they're like, really? And this interaction spurred enough excitement that the Berkeley City Council, I guess, again, not typically who you'd think would embrace the military, created a proclamation, a unanimous proclamation, that June 5th was Bridging the Mil-Civ Divide Day. And if Berkeley and the military can just come together for a moment and say what actually unites us, imagine what we can do as a country.